Gujarat has been the fastest growing state in India in terms of economy. Its GSDP or gross state domestic product has gone from 92,000 crore rupees in 2001 to over 25 lakh crore rupees as of now. That's a rise of 27 times in just 23 years. Gujarat is also the state with the second least unemployment figures, just 3%. But what makes this growth particularly interesting is that Gujarat is also one of the driest states in India. In fact, the second driest after Rajasthan. It has very harsh weather conditions which make it unfavorable for farming. A lot of villages have historically suffered from drought, and it is also prone to earthquakes like we saw in 2001 with the Bhuj earthquake. Yet today, Gujarat contributes 20% to all of India's exports, 25% to our total cotton production, 40% to our silk production, 80% of processed diamonds, and 85% of silver jewelry, while only accounting for less than 5% of the country's population. The rise of Gujarat, however, is not a recent phenomenon. It has been in the making for over 3 decades. In this video, let us look at the 3 reasons behind the unprecedented rise of Gujarat. But before we begin, more than 95% of you watching this video have probably not subscribed to our channel. So guys, if possible, please subscribe to our channel. It really means a lot and it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. So that said, let's get started with reason 1. Even though Gujarat has many geographical disadvantages, it has one massive advantage. It has India's longest coastline of nearly 1600 kilometers. And there are 2 chief ministers who deserve the credit to utilize this coastline to their advantage. Congress's Chimmanbhai Patel and BJP's Keshubhai Patel. Under these 2 chief ministers, ports of Gujarat started seeing massive development and expansion. They were even open to private players starting 1995. And as a result, some of India's biggest ports today are located in Gujarat, such as the Mundra port, the Kandla port, and the Pipavav port. On top of that, the government also invested heavily in infrastructure such as roads and railway networks to connect these ports to major economic and industrial centers. This kind of transformed the entire region into an international trade hub.
Another reason for the region's success as an automotive production zone has been its proximity to ports. These ports have been a big facilitator in the export of vehicles which are manufactured in the Mandal-Bechraji investment region.
As a result of that, today Gujarat is the state from where almost a third of all of India's merchandise exports takes place through these ports. They also initiated the process of developing SEZs or Special Economic Zones in 2000. Now, businesses operating in these special economic zones come with massive advantages, such as tax concessions, simplified regulations, and so on. One such project, by the way, which they are working on currently, and which, by the way, I'm a personal fan of, is the Gift City. We'll talk about that some other time. But now, moving to reason number 2. And I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate comments for this, so bring it on. But it is the Vibrant Gujarat Summit, started by the Chief Minister then, Narendra Modi.
Gujarat, in the last 2 decades, has accelerated its overall economic development and has witnessed several structural changes in the course of its economic growth.
Gujarat stands out different and perhaps better than anywhere else in the country. And the credit for this goes to Mr. Modi for his vision.
Since its inception in 2003, the Vibrant Gujarat Summit has attracted total investment commitments of up to 100 lakh crore rupees. That's 1 crore rupees. And it is estimated that 60 to 70% of these commitments have converted into actual projects. Now here is the impact of that on the broader economy. There were 7 lakh direct jobs in Gujarat in 2003. This figure today stands at nearly 21 lakh direct jobs. And it is estimated that these projects have created an equivalent number of indirect jobs as well. So we're talking about 21 lakh direct jobs and 21 lakh indirect jobs. Now here is something to think about. It is not just about the Vibrant Gujarat Summit, but it is the approach of the government towards businesses, the pro-business approach, encouraging businesses to come and manufacture in your state and ensuring them ease of doing business. A big reason for Gujarat's success has also been that other states have performed very poorly when it comes to this. We talked extensively about West Bengal, for instance, in one of our previous videos. They had anti-business policies and approach. There were also accounts of big businessmen being attacked in West Bengal only because they were big businessmen. And when on the other hand you have a state like Gujarat which is inviting these businesses with open arms, the choice is obvious. The businesses are going to go to Gujarat and so are all the jobs. And one such prominent example of this is the Sanand plant of Tata Motors, which earlier was going to be in Singur, West Bengal.
To move the nano project out of West Bengal.
On October the 3rd, when Tata Motors announced they would be moving out of Singur, Ratan Tata received letters of invitation from 4 states and an SMS from Narendra Modi, which simply said, "Welcome to Gujarat."
What made us decide to come to Gujarat was his promise that he would confirm the allotment of land and other facilities in a few days. Now, a few days is a difficult thing to swallow in India because it often doesn't happen. In this case, a few days became 3 days.
This one plant alone created nearly 10,000 jobs, and currently it is undergoing expansion. And when that expansion is going to be done, it's probably going to create even more jobs. Jobs that have come in Gujarat at the expense of West Bengal. The impact of the Vibrant Gujarat Summit also extends beyond large corporations. It has both directly and indirectly helped small and medium scale businesses. And it has also nurtured the startup ecosystem in Gujarat. By the way, talking about startups and SMEs also brings us to the third reason behind the success of Gujarat, their entrepreneurial instincts. Dhirubhai Ambani, Gautam Adani, Azim Premji, Radhakrishnan Damani, Uday Kotak, Harsh Mariwala, and this list goes on and on. It is extraordinary to find so many big businessmen originating from this one state. By the way, Jethalal as well. Now, one could argue that the success of these Gujaratis is a result of a favorable government in the center and favorable state policies. And for a second, I could believe you there. But what about the US then? Do you know about the Patel Motel cartel? Well, 42% of all the motels and hotels in the US are owned by Gujaratis. Here is what the famous investor, late Charlie Munger, has to say about this. The Patels from India know more about motels than you do. They live in a goddamn motel. They don't pay income taxes legally. They don't pay much in workers' compensation, and every dime they get, they fix up and buy another motel. Do you want to compete with the Patels? Not I. The entrepreneurial instinct is in the blood of Gujaratis, and it goes back thousands of years. Gujarat was a very integral part of the Silk Route because of its long coastline. Gujarat's location made it ideal for traders coming both from the west to the east and going from the east to the west. There are accounts of traders coming from Rome and Persia to Gujarat as early as the 1st century. Going forward, Surat also emerged as the most significant port city in the Mughal Empire for trade. Another example is Ahmedabad, which used to be called the Manchester of India because of its very big textile industry. As a result of this, Gujaratis over the last several centuries have gained an expertise in maritime trade. They were merchants by profession. And this is where the entrepreneurial instinct comes from. Now coming back to Jethalal for a second. Why exactly do you think he was portrayed like that? Like a rich Gujarati businessman. In fact, why was the only businessman in the Gokuldham society a Gujarati? Such stereotypes don't really come out of thin air. About 50% of all of India's billionaires are Gujaratis. And by the way, all of them are businessmen. Moving on, now there are a few criticisms of the growth model of Gujarat as well, such as the displacement of local communities, lack of focus on agricultural growth, and heavy reliance on tax rebates and subsidies. But regardless, I personally feel there are a lot of things that other states can learn from Gujarat's growth model. Anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it useful. I usually post business case studies, and this was only my second political analysis of sorts. Do let me know your thoughts on how you found it and if you would want me to make a few more of these. Please also give me a few suggestions for the videos you want me to create on economics, politics, and business related topics. I would really appreciate it. And as always, thank you so much for watching.